Welcome everyone, I'm Lockheart, and I've been a fan of COD Zombies since probably the first ever time I played, which was the original Nacht and untoten in World at War. And ever since I've played Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, etc, the day it's come out, and I've poured thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into Zombies because I love it. But as a fan, it breaks my heart to see that in the past 4 years or so, probably since Black Ops 4, I've seen a sharp decline in map quality, storytelling, characters, and obviously behind the scenes things going on with business decisions not really making sense and things with the studios from Activision Blizzard. But today, I dive deep into the current state of Call of Duty Zombies in 2024. Since its creation, COD Zombies has been a cornerstone of the entire Call of Duty franchise, with its intense wave-by-wave survival gameplay, cinematic, well-crafted Easter eggs, as well as, those day one Easter egg hunts where you watch a streamer or a YouTuber go through them, or maybe you'll even go through them with your own squad and friends. It was just great fun. And obviously creating some of my favourite gaming experiences of all time. But as we step into 2024, for the first time ever, the future seems bleak and completely unknown when it comes to COD Zombies. In 2024, we know we are getting Treyarch's first solo developed game since Black Ops 4, which is most likely going to be titled Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War, which is rumoured to feature a Japanese boat map as the first sort of on-disc map for COD Zombies, which will most likely take place just after Cold War's post-credit scene ending, and even rumours of potentially getting a transit remake if files that are left over in the game are to be believed by leakers. But this is now ringing loads and loads of alarm bells for me, as it seems as though from an outsider's perspective, as a fan's perspective, Treyarch are being overworked and stretched completely thin. Treyarch, who developed some of the best Call of Duty games and best Call of Duty Zombies maps of all time, as well as at the minute generally being considered the best COD developer out of the main big three, developed Black Ops 4, Black Ops Cold War, and they also then recently filled in for Sledgehammer midway through development of Cold War. They then went on to do Cold War's DLC cycle maps and updates and multiplayer and campaign, etc. They then went on to fill out for Vanguard Zombies to create the Vanguard Zombies mode for Sledgehammer, and then they then filled in once again for Sledgehammer to do Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. To which, regarding Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, Treyarch have now actually abandoned working on this mode and have now switched over development to work on Gulf War fully. We've now even got rumours going into 2025 that we'll apparently get a Black Ops 2 remaster in 2025, which would be really cool since Black Ops 2 does actually take place canonically in the year 2025, which would be a bit of a wild one, but we still have no idea currently what this game is going to look like. And you have to remember, Call of Duty as a series is now on a different engine and business model to what it was back in the day with the original release of Black Ops 2. So the question is, will Black Ops 2 Remastered have a battle pass, Warzone implementation, operators? Will it be a one-to-one remake? Will it be a one-to-one remaster with enhanced performance and graphics? We currently have no idea, and we're just going to have to wait and see. But again, it's another thing to add onto the pile for Treyarch. So it's not weird for me to think very negatively when it comes to Activision Blizzard, Treyarch and COD Zombies in general, as Treyarch as a developmental studio are being stretched completely thin and overworked. And the last time this actually happened with Treyarch, we got Black Ops 4, which was notorious for going through development hell and having a mixed reception at launch, as well as being downright broken across all maps at launch. If you remember, you had things like the tigers and the dogs one-hitting you, you had constant crashes on PlayStation and Xbox and PC. The mode was probably at its worst at that point. And more recently with Modern Warfare 3 Zombies being widely criticised for being, well, not zombies. It's no longer the zombies we want, and no longer the zombies we remember and loved. Since Outbreak, Treyarch and Activision want zombies to go in a completely different direction, with Outbreak and DMZ, and obviously Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, They want the mode to be an open world experience with side objectives and tiered loot, stating that players actually had more engagement with open world map experiences than round based, which is obviously the traditional thing that's been there since World at War, which if you actually look into the data and the evidence and obviously just people in general, you'll find that this statement actually isn't true. All you have to do is go onto YouTubers' videos, comment sections, Reddit, different forums, where people are expressing their distaste for this mode and want a return to something like Black Ops 3. And with Modern Warfare 3, Zombies just not delivering in the storyline department, having no real big main Easter egg, game-breaking issues, which again all you have to do is go onto YouTube, TikTok, Twitter and just find loads of clips of things like people being pushed out of the evac chopper and things like that. There was also massive layoffs both last year and this year, affecting all Activision Blizzard studios, including Treyarch themselves, and Treyarch leaving or abandoning, in better words, Modern Warfare 3 with dwindling updates to follow. The future and the current state of Zombies is looking very bleak indeed. But it's not all doom and gloom. Treyarch and Activision have time and a chance now to finally turn things around. It was only less than 6 years ago when Treyarch and Zombies was at its highest, at its peak. Treyarch released Black Ops 3, which went on to do well, extremely well money-wise. In fact, Zombies Chronicles is one of the best-selling DLCs of all time and for Call of Duty, and with excellent fan reception, reviews, and just people loving the maps such as Horizon, Shadows of Evil and Gorod Krovi being considered some of the best Zombies maps of all time. Black Ops 3 was consistently putting out banger after banger, as well as a first for Call of Duty, which again was Zombies Chronicles, which never before had a Call of Duty game done so well in monetary standpoint that it got not one but 2 DLC packs released years after launch, which then obviously bled into the marketing for Black Ops 4. But I've talked enough about what Call of Duty, Activision Blizzard and Treyarch have done wrong, but in this next segment I will be talking about how Treyarch and Activision can finally turn things around, as they've already got the foundation there, but for some reason they either just want to go in completely with fingers and ears and blindfolded and not wanting to see it, or they just don't want to. They want to go in the direction of something like DMZ, where they can charge people operator packs. But in order to look at how they can make a Zombies mode that is a return to form, all they need to do is look at the past with Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, but more importantly the more recent games and successes being Black Ops 3 and Black Ops Cold War for inspiration. So if you were to ask me personally, Lockhart, how can Treyarch save Zombies? Well, if you actually look into it, it's very simple. One big thing that needs to change is Treyarch, more so Activision's, transparency with the community. Back in the day with Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 and more importantly Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, the community was at its all-time peak, getting some of record numbers on Twitch with people like NoahJ456, Mr. Darlet JD and Mr. Waffle Waffles, as well as Mr. T-Lexify and a few others. If you go and look at those videos, they get millions and millions of views, and the engagement from the community was excellent. And you have obviously people like me who have been there since the very beginning and just want Zombies to be good again. But nowadays, for some reason, Activision Blizzard just don't really care as much with the community. We don't get as frequent updates, which has been a thing since probably the pandemic and the lockdown, which is actually understandable from that point. But from, since we've come out of that now, they're still, and I'd argue and say they're acting even more secretive, with certain YouTubers who in the past were sort of their favourites and would always fly them out for events and give them secret bits of information post-launch, are now actually blacklisted seemingly from Activision Blizzard. So in my opinion, for them to get a first standpoint and a good 1 foot in fixing the game, they need to go back to not only being transparent with the community, but having excellent engagement. But I'd argue and say above everything else, the most important thing that the next game needs for Zombies to be a success is the maps themselves. At the end of the day, this is what Zombies is. They've already got the gameplay formula there and ready to go from Black Ops 3, Cold War, and even a little bit like little tiny features here and there from Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3. So Treyarch need to desperately return to round-based gameplay. I don't mind if they do an Outbreak mode on the side, or maybe they carry on doing DMZ in the new version of Warzone, but obviously it has zombies, so it's a, its own thing. That's fine. But for the core Zombies experience, Treyarch need to return to round-based gameplay. As, to be honest, all you have to do again is look to YouTube, Reddit and all the rest of it. 90% of the community want round-based gameplay to return. It's just that obvious, and it's mind-boggling to me that Activision Blizzard cannot see that. And even if the storyline isn't quite there, as long as the base gameplay and layout of the map is good, then people will keep coming back again and again. Treyarch, in my opinion, will need 2 maps on launch that are big, expansive and well crafted, with no major bugs, glitches or issues at launch, similar to how Black Ops 4 launched. But in my opinion, probably the best thing to do here is something similar to Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, where the game launches with 2 maps, one being that it's meant and designed to and marketed for the hardcore Zombies audience, with a really complicated Easter egg, pack-a-punch, as well as power, like how to actually get the power on the map. The map is really complicated and takes time to learn. And then on the other side of things, you have a map which is either a remake, or I'd personally prefer a brand new experience, where it's a smaller map that is casual focused, where you don't really have to do a lot, everything's already there, and all you need to do is just get into the map. It's really small, it's really easy, it's easy to understand essentially, and it will just make the game a lot better for the casual audience. Having both of those there in tandem will just make the gameplay experience a whole lot better. Now, I know another sore contention point is the microtransactions and operators. Zombies, as in hardcore Zombies fans, hate this mode being in Zombies. Well, this is actually an easy fix, and I can't believe Activision Blizzard and Treyarch and Infinity Ward and all the rest of them haven't done it so far. Treyarch just need to bring back a crew of 4 well-written, funny, likeable characters to tell their story across their maps, sort of like how they did with the Victus crew, Primus and Ultimus before them, and maybe even reintroduce a celebrity cast for a one-off map experience. Can you believe this, but Cold War was the first ever game to not include a celebrity cast. I mean, technically, obviously you've got celebrity operators, but it's different. But I know what you're thinking, well, if they bring back the characters, then how can they bring back operators as well? Well, again, this is really simple. All they need to do is implement a setting in the settings, or a toggle switch on the menu, sort of going in before a game, to toggle between whether you want to play as a Zombies single player character or your custom operator. That way storyline fans still get a unique Zombies experience which has a bit of soul, as well as Activision can sell operator bundles, microtransactions, and people who want to use operators can. All they have to do is just toggle that switch and they can play as their operator, which can then obviously be used across Zombies, Warzone, multiplayer, etc. Next up is the most important thing which Activision need to correct and fix, and that's Zombies as a mode has lost its soul, which in my opinion has been missing since probably Alpha Omega. It's really hard to sort of pinpoint where this shift ended. I mean, I'd argue and say Tag untoten had a bit of soul, and I'd argue that there are bits and pieces there in Vanguard as well as Cold War, but for me, Zombies hasn't felt that great feeling probably since early Black Ops 4 days, and this is the thing which put Zombies on the map in the first place back in the day with World at War and Black Ops 1 and etc, and let Zombies actually stand out from campaign, Spec Ops and multiplayer. That's the thing that Activision and Treyarch don't seem to understand. Zombies was popular because it stood out, it was its own thing, and it was completely different from the same thing you'd get every year with a campaign, maybe Spec Ops missions and multiplayer. Zombies was its own thing and had its own soul and feeling and thematic twists to it. All they need to do is bring back the heavy metal vocal Easter egg songs, which by the way we haven't actually had since Firebase Z. We haven't had like a full-on vocal track in ages from like Kevin Sherwood or whoever. They need to bring back the comic book map loading screens, which we haven't seen since probably Black Ops 3. Which could even be put into Warzone maybe and integrated with the Battle Pass, because in the Battle Pass with Warzone you can actually have like different loading screens. That would be a cool little crossover between the two. They could bring back the funny comedic voice lines from Zombies single player only characters, unique map themes, soundtracks such as, you know, just the brilliant thematic twists. I think that's what Zombies is missing as well, because back in the day maps used to have their own themes, such as a prison, hellish Alcatraz Island, the jazz noir streets of Morgue City, and a Wild West town buried underground. And that's only naming a few of them. Zombies just needs its soul to return, and at the minute it feels like Zombies as a mode, as well as its own soul and theme, is just an afterthought, with modes, weapons and maps being all copy and pasted from the campaign, multiplayer and Warzone, which in my opinion shouldn't be the case if Activision want this mode to blossom and succeed. In fact, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for saying this, I would actually take getting less maps if it means that the ones that we do get are well crafted, memorable and brand new. I feel like if Treyarch can make these changes and look to something like Black Ops 3 and some aspects from Cold War for inspiration, then Zombies can rise once again and get its soul back. And who knows, with Black Ops 2 remastered on the horizon and Gulf War, we may even get remasters of maps such as Transit, Dioride, Buried, the OG Mob of the Dead with the OG characters, Nuketown Zombies, and Origins once again, with maybe some new maps thrown in for both Gulf War and the Black Ops 2 remaster, because in my opinion, I would actually pay the full £70, $70 for a Black Ops 2 remastered with all the DLC multiplayer maps, all the Zombies maps, the campaign, as well as all the, you know, the little extra things here and there, and maybe some new Zombies maps and multiplayer maps. I would genuinely pay money to have that. But at the moment, the future is looking very weird and unknown. Hopefully Treyarch can pull it, they can pull it back, because even with the layoffs, Treyarch's, their actual staff and developers are really good at what they do. And even, you know, certain things with Vanguard, you can see that they've been well crafted. It's just the overall package just didn't come together and wasn't very good. But I think that Gulf War can succeed. Treyarch and Activision just need to go back in time and look at what made Zombies good in the first place. Anyway, everyone, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Do you love Zombies as much as I do? And what do you think that Treyarch and Activision should do to improve the mode? Thank you so much for watching, and for more COD Zombies as well as gaming content, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.